I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls of all ages. I got to tell you, I was getting a little nervous as we was popping on, as we were coming on, as I was getting ready to go live, and the thumbnail was getting ready to lift, because for the very first time in a long time, I was getting ready to do this solo, and I was nervous, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, popped Kate. Kate popped right on. So we are obviously right now in the period of time in which I call no man's land. It's the week between Christmas and New Year's where no one does anything and nothing really happens and nothing really goes on. But it's the holiday season, you know, Christmas, New Year's, things like that. But Kate has some family come in, and Kate and her husband are having a good several day visit with most of their children, minus one, who's I think still at home wherever that is. But we had talked about the possibility of her dipping out of a couple shows for the next couple days, and I was like, yeah, hey, I can do it, that'll be no big deal. And she was like, okay, thanks, I'll just come in or leave, or whatever. And so I was under the impression that I was going to be solo tonight, but ta-da, there she is. You can't see her, but I can, and that makes a world of difference. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first episode after Christmas. If you are watching this live, we are broadcasting this on a very special Friday night. This is a Friday night episode. We generally are off on Fridays. However, we had Christmas Eve, which was Tuesday, and then Christmas was Wednesday. And then we should have popped back on Thursday, but I thought, you know what? Everybody needs another day. So do I. So have at it. In doing that, though, that gave us a little bit of content to talk about tonight that we would not have been able to talk about yesterday. So sometimes that works out for the better. If you're watching this live, we are, of course, broadcasting to you live Friday, December 27th. I was kind of confused there. Live December 27th, which is Friday. If you're watching this in the future via replay, It's whatever day and time you want it to be. Hey, please give us your quick thumb before yelling and cussing and giving us the finger. We greatly appreciate it. If you could do that and help us feed the algorithms, that would be fantastic. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. And all of that fun stuff. If you are interested in following along with us, maybe ahead of time, finding out what we might be talking about, finding out things that we're posting about, then you'll want to follow all of these things. I'm in the middle of tweaking this a little bit. I thought I was going to have it done for this evening, but we'll have this tweaked maybe by the next time we come on. Just a really quick kind of housekeeping point of order here. I want to let you guys know what our schedule looks like over the next couple days, because we are still in this holiday time. We are here live tonight, Friday, obviously. Let's see here. Okay, we are here live Friday. Wait a minute. That I knew I would do that. That's the wrong date. I've got so many calendars here, I don't even know what's going on. Okay, all right. We are here live this Friday evening. We will not be live tomorrow, so we will be off tomorrow. We will be back Sunday, all right? And then Monday, the 30th, we will be live on location at 9 a.m. in the morning at the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. You will want to tune in to see what's going on there. That's going to be a crazy ordeal, and it's going to be a big thing that we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about it a little bit tonight. We're going to talk about it obviously on Monday, but that will be Monday morning, Monday the 30th at 9 a.m. You'll be able to watch right here live on this channel the last Delaware County Commissioners meeting of the year. And then we will be live that evening, Monday the 30th at 9 p.m. So 9 a.m. and then 9 p.m. We will then be live right here as usual on New Year's Eve. So for anyone that wants to pop in and have a chat with us, it won't be so much a political show as it'll just be kind of a chat and to talk about things that matter to us, maybe talk about different things that have occurred over the year, looking forward, yada, yada, yada. So that'll be the 31st. Then we will not be here on Wednesday the 1st. No show on New Year's Day. We will then obviously be here on Friday the 2nd, which will be another special show a week from today. And then we will be off Thursday the 2nd. Man, we need to just start over. So we will be here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday. We will be here Thursday the 2nd. We will then be off Friday and Saturday. And then starting on Sunday the 5th, we will be back with regular programming. So the best way to stay up to date on all of that stuff is to hit the bell. That way that you get notified when we go live. And for the couple people out there that I know that have said, wait a minute, I don't get notifications and I'm subscribed, you might have to go in and hit the unsubscribe button. And then as soon as you do that, hit the resubscribe button. That will help you out and it will rejuice everything that needs to go on there. That's a YouTube issue and I can't help that, but that's what you need to do from time to time. I recommend everybody to go in there and do that maybe once about every 3 months. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, back at it here. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Did everyone have a good Christmas? Did Santa Claus bring you all what you had wanted? What you all hoped for? I hope you all had a good Christmas. Hope you're all looking toward the brand new year 2025 and putting together your lists, your resolutions if you do that, looking at what you want to leave in 2024 and looking at what you want to do new and bring into the world and create all brand new and glowing in 2025. It's a time to reflect on the things that you want to change and the things that you want to do better at. Here at the Political Spotlight, we're going to be pretty much doing the same thing. I am going to this year. This is the only resolution that I make, and I don't like New Year resolutions. I don't do all that. The big resolution that I'm going to make, this is the year that I am going to leave this area here. I am going to officially make a studio. We're going to have more of a set, and I am going to get that nailed down. It's only been about 6 years in the making, and I have finally started putting some things together. I'm in the works of doing that. And I think depending on what goes on, we might take off like a week, either at the end of January or maybe the 1st of February, and do a total reconfiguration. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. You guys want to keep your ear to the ground on that. So, all right. Before we get going, we have two main topics that we're going to talk about tonight. It's going to be kind of a light night. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, we're still kind of in laid back holiday mode here. We're not going to go on very, very long, but we have a couple things that we want to talk about tonight, because even though it's like the end of the year and it seems like normally during this time, nothing's going on. And so while it seems like it's just kind of like one big day, nothing changes. Tuesday's no different from Wednesday. It's no different from Thursday because nothing's happening. Various people are at work. The government's not at work. People have time off. People are on vacation. And it just seemed like nothing's really getting done. However, this year, it seems like however slow this crawl is to the actual end of the year and to the new year, the local governments here in Muncie and Delaware County just are not quitting. They're just not quitting. They do not want to quit. They're like, we got one more trick up our sleeve. I've got one more thing that we need to get in. I've got one more big goof that we want to do. We have one more big battle that we want to get out and in the open for everyone to gawk at. And it just seems like these people, it's like, dude, calm down. Save some for 2025. You know what I mean? So we're going to be talking about the city of Muncie, of course, and we're going to be looking at the whole relationship between Mayor Dan Ridenour and Dustin Clark, something that's been an ongoing saga here. And we're going to look at what that relationship is costing the taxpayers. And so we're going to be looking at that. Of course, Dustin Clark got about a $7,000 Christmas present from Mayor Dan Ridenour. It's really from the taxpayers through Ridenour is really what it is. It's really a Christmas gift from the taxpayers. So we'll talk about all that. A little more than 7,000. We'll talk about what that is and what's going on there. And then we're going to talk about Delaware County and this year-end meeting that they're going to be having on Monday. And we've talked a little bit about it, but we're going to talk about what I know about it, what I don't know about it, and we're going to talk about an issue that I'm afraid they might be in for. So all of that, and we'll see what else pops up along the way. Just briefly, I do need to get one thing done here really quickly. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So, one of the first things we want to start off with is yesterday was Thursday. And since Christmas fell on Wednesday this year, one of the big things that happened was, and you know what was tricky about this was I had actually went back to the Muncie City Board of Works from last week, which was the 18th. And I listened from front to back, and amazingly and kind of bizarrely, Ted didn't say anything during last week's meeting about when this week's Board of Works would be held. So I actually had to go back to the Board of Works from the 11th. I actually went to the 11th and the 4th. And during both the meeting on the 4th and the meeting on the 11th, Ted did make note that the Board of Works meeting that would need to take place between Sunday the 22nd and Saturday the 28th, because a Board of Works meeting has to happen each week. No matter if there's big holidays or not, they have to have a Board of Works meeting. He had stated, instead of it falling on Christmas, which of course it wasn't going to do, that they were going to hold that on Thursday the 9th. Or excuse me, at 9 a.m. on Thursday the 26th. Thursday the 26th at 9 a.m. And that's not a strange happening. They generally move them to either the Tuesday or the Thursday. There was a special Board of Works meeting that they had a couple months ago, 2 or 3 months back, that they actually moved to a Friday at like 2:30, which that was kind of really weird and wonky. I had never heard of them doing that before, but they were able to live stream that meeting, and they were able to have that up for us to watch. So I got up yesterday, and I was up in time for the meeting to take place. I kind of considered going there, but I thought, you know what? It's the day after the big day. I'm just going to relax. We're not doing a show tonight. So I'm just going to watch it from the comfort of my bed. And I got on the City of Muncie, went to the City of Muncie communications page, went to the City of Muncie's YouTube page, and like so many of the others of you out there, I was unable to locate a Board of Works meeting. There was not a Board of Works meeting that live streamed 9 o'clock. It wasn't there at 8. It wasn't there at 8:30. It wasn't there at 9. It wasn't there at 9:30. It wasn't there at 10. It wasn't there at 10:30. And there is still not a Muncie City Board of Works meeting that's been live streamed. Now, I did reach out to the Muncie City Communications Department yesterday afternoon, and I sent in an email, which they would have received today, and I was made aware that the communications department was out sick. However, I then also sent an email to the contract employee, which is Mark Slusher. And the email I sent to both of those people just simply read, to communications director Amber Green, to Inlight Creative person Mark Slusher. The City of Muncie Board of Works met on Thursday, December 26th, 2024. Due to Christmas falling on Wednesday. but I have been unable to find the video of this meeting. Can you advise if this will be uploaded at a later date and or time? Thank you in advance, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. And I have not received back any information about this whatsoever. I received back absolutely nothing. So, I mean, as far as knowing what exactly they discussed during the what I'm almost certain was a short meeting, there's no way of knowing exactly what was discussed. I hope that this is going to be a situation that it is recorded out there somewhere, and that it will in time be be uploaded for us to watch. That being said, even if it is not, the one thing that we can count on that is different than a lot of other places is that Lacey does the Board of Works meeting minutes. And she does those meeting minutes just like the city council meeting minutes, which is basically anything that is said by any of the Board of Works members, anything that is said at the podium by some employee, by a citizen, anything that is said from gavel to gavel is included in the minutes. So worst case scenario, we don't have the live stream. We will have a very detailed minutes to go through and kind of peruse and determine what, if anything, occurred. So that's the one good thing that we have to say. Hello, Les. Hello, Alva. Hello, everyone. I just now got the comments popped on here. It's been a second. Sorry about that. So thank you all for tuning in. I do want to say, though, just because the Board of Works meeting that occurred on Thursday was not live streamed, or it doesn't appear that it was recorded, at least at this point in time, we do know what the weekly claims. Do we have a grant? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now, I want everybody to listen to what this weekly claims for the did you see that, Kate? I want everybody to listen to this. I'm going to put this up on the screen here so everyone can see it. This is the grand total of the weekly claims in the city of Muncie that would have been basically the 18th through the 26th. So 1 week from Wednesday to Wednesday. Now, this is honestly quite mind-boggling to me that it's this high. And in all fairness, I have not went through everything. I've just went through some areas, so I'm going to have to go back through and go through this to see what exactly is going on here. But the grand total, there were 179 invoices that they had in the 1 week's period for a grand total of $5,889,095.50. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1 week, second to last week of the year, the city of Muncie paid claims that totaled $5 million, nearly $6 million, $5.8 million. And Stumblefoot with the comment of the evening, maybe that's why there's no video. Yeah, because look, here's the deal. This is the thing. And this is what happens anytime this stuff happens. Anytime something looks a little fishy and they do something kind of wonky, like there's no meeting minutes or there's no live stream, or it's a hassle to get. It always just happens to also coincide with something kind of strange happening. Now, when that occurs, that leads me and others to say, well, wait a minute. Maybe this one strange thing is occurring because this other strange thing is occurring. So they're trying to use this to cover up this, because we know that they do that. There's proof of that.
Now, hold on.
Yep.
So I wanted to see if this was like a pattern.
If it was what? A what?
A pattern of behavior.
Okay, yeah.
So let's see here. Okay, so here is last year's last invoice list of the year. So
can you blow it up?
I'm going to.
You're not talking to me.
Here we go. You ready?
Oh, look at that. Now, there's like 40 some claims difference, but that's 6 million.
Right.
All right.
So, you want me to find 22?
Yeah, can you go back to 2022?
Sure. Let's find 2022. I'm sorry, this takes a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so get down to the bottom of this one. Okay.
Tell me when you're on it, because I'm off screen too.
I am on it. So we're going to share this one instead. So here is 2022's.
Okay, now 2022 is quite low. So that's 426,000. So that to me would be like more kind of in line with what it should be. While you're there, let's see, I'm at 9. Let me see, I'm at 10 here. You know what I was going to try to do is I was going to try to see what 19 would have been when the other administration was in.
Is that 21?
You've done 21?
No,
that's 21.
Yeah, it's 21. So I missed 22. Sorry.
That's all right.
22.
If you can get 22, I've got 20. I've got 20.
I'll have 22 here in a minute.
Let me see where 20 is.
I just got excited. I saw 12.
Okay, and I've got...
Oh, there's 2022.
Oh, okay.
Down. Do this. All right, so you ready for 2022?
Yep.
Okay, here is 2022.
All right, 2022 is 1,437,256.66. And then on my side of things for 2020, we've got $3,390,66,78,90. So it's like it's kind of a pattern. I mean, there's only the 1 year where it was low. The other years, it's pretty high. There's at least 2 out of the last 5 years that have been three or higher. So that's kind of interesting. I will have to go through all of these and look and see kind of what the deal is. I guess just determine, what's actually going on here. What are we paying? One of the other things that I think is important that people need to know, and it's Kate actually made this prediction back last week or the week before. It was after one show ended one night. Kate said that she was interested to know if Dustin would get some kind of big payout at the end of the year, because it looked like, looking at the other ends of the year payouts, the claims at the end of the year, that Dustin always seemed to find some way, or rather Dan seems to find some way to pay Dustin, or Dustin seemed to find some way to get paid a pretty large amount of money, always right around Christmas, either the week before or the week after, somewhere right around in there. And that's been that way since he's worked for Dan. Well, why it seemed like that might not happen this year was he wasn't in the system. He wasn't under a vendor number. He didn't have a contract. Well, then, lo and behold, all of that stuff happened, around the 18th, and then boom, bang, pow, he's got a contract. And I had been told that, yes, he was turning in claims, and they would be paid in the Board of Works meeting that occurred on either the 24th, the 20, or the 26th, the 27th. And so we got on and we looked. I want to show everybody here so you can see, and see we're not playing any kind of they don't Stumblefoot. That's the thing. They don't hand out year-end bonuses. But I don't know what else to call it. I don't really know what else to call it when you have an employee, a contract employee, mind you, who is getting a large lump sum of money at the end of the year, every year, always magically somehow at the end of the year. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute. We're going to talk about the services and what he's doing or what he's not doing. I'm going to talk to you about what my issue is with that here in a second. But I want to show you guys so you can see that this is all, you can go find this for yourself. All you've got to do is you go to Google or Bing or whatever internet search engine provider, search engine, whatever you use, and you type in City of Muncie. It would be even more helpful if you typed in City of Muncie, Indiana Controller. When you type that in, you'll go to the controllers page on the City of Muncie's site. Okay. It's real simple. It looks like this. All right. This is what it looks like. You'll see this city controller, office of the city controller. You scroll down, and then right here it says financial report archives, monthly expense reports. That's not up so far yet for this month. So skip that, and you'll want to go to weekly claim archives. When you click on weekly claim archives, it's going to take you to this, where you're going to see weekly claims 12/27/24, PDF, date 12/26/24. And then the week before that was weekly claims, December 20th, 2024, PDF, date 12/18/2024. All right, and there's where it is. So when you click on that, it's then going to open up a document that looks like this. Okay. Now, Kate has put it right here in the comments for you all. So that's a really nice, easy way to do that. But I'm going to blow this up so you guys can see this. And for any of you that are long-term watchers, you're used to us looking at documents like this. We've looked at a lot of documents like this. This is the claims sheet for the City of Muncie. Okay. And so basically what this shows here, just so everyone has a kind of a baseline level of understanding about what we're looking at here. So it's got the City of Muncie seal, says accounts payable invoice report, payment date range from 12/27/24 through 12/27/24. Now that's weird because I think normally, I don't know if it has like the week in there. I don't know. That's just a little off, I think. But it says report by vendor invoice summary listing. So over here on the left-hand side, it says up at the top, invoice number, invoice description, status, held reason, invoice date, due date, GL date, receive date, payment date, invoice net amount. And so you see in the first little thing here, it's in alphabetical order: Ace, safe, lock, and key. Police, lever latch, key lock, latch guard. And you can see that the vendor number was A11252. That's the invoice number. The vendor number is in gray. So the vendor number is 81761. The invoice number is A11252. The invoice description is police, lever latch, key lock, latch guard. It says status paid by check, and this is the check number, 270337. Invoice date, and it tells you the date that the invoice was sent. So it was sent in on the 9th of December. Due date was 12/27. And then it has the payment date, and then it has the amount over here, $270. So you can scroll down here and see who was paid what money for what at any given time. Okay. So like, for example, we can scroll down here and we can see Centerpoint Energy. Okay. And we can look, there's, let me see here. Okay, nothing major there. Okay. There's the fire station. There's Comcast. I'm just looking for like the Y or anything like that. Okay, right here. Here's Dustin Clark. Now, for anyone that's looking, for anybody that's looking at this, there are a couple of things that we have that's a problem here. Okay. And I considered not saying this because I was like, ooh, they could change it up, but it doesn't matter. It's already went out. It's happened one time. It's the shit has already hit the fan, so it doesn't really matter. So I can say this, and they're already captured red-handed, whatever the deal is here. Okay, so it really, honestly, it does not matter. Kate, I'm going to send you something here. Can you put this in overlays when you get a chance? Oh, yeah, here we go. Just that front part. Ooh, I see. She's not even there. Ha! I'm talking to myself. Hold on. Give me a second. I can get it. That's hilarious. Okay, we got that pulled up there. All right, we're going to hope that that took. All right, here we go. Overlays. Give me 1 second here, folks. Oh, come on. Yeah, here we go. All right, so it says vendor 81213 81213 Dustin L. Clark. And his invoice numbers. Now, this is something I'm definitely going to be watching from him, because when he submitted invoice, or whoever worked for him submitted invoice numbers for Greenlight Resources, they were all over the place. Like 1 week they would use 1001, and then the next week, instead of using 1002, they would use 000893421, and then the next week they would use A-003. There was no organization to what they were doing. There was one time that Greenlight Resources actually used the same different invoice number for two different claims of different values, and nobody at City Hall ever caught that. I mean, just completely ludicrous. Okay, so at least here, they've started off in a pretty good pattern. 1001, 1002, 1003. Now, what really bothers me here, and this is something that Linda has always griped about, and I would hope that she would have griped about this during this Board of Works meeting, is saying professional services does not explain what they're doing here. So, unfortunately, that could be literally anything, and we need to have a little bit better clarity there at what was going on. So we can see that each one of these three invoices was paid by one check. Check number 270363. They were all paid on 12/20, or excuse me, not all paid. The invoice date was all 12/20/24. The due date was 12/26/2024. Okay, and they were all paid on 12/27/24. The first invoice came to $2,437.50. The second invoice came to $3,552.00. And the last invoice came to $1,485.00, making the grand total of Dustin's three invoices and his payment from the City of Muncie. The grand total was $7,474.50. Okay. $7,474.50 was Dustin's total amount paid for just whatever he did here. Now, I already have a record request in for the invoices, for the three invoices, to find out exactly what is listed on those three invoices. I have the same record request I have in a request for the copy of the check and anything else pertinent to the vendor number, the vendor in total. What's interesting here, what's concerning here is Alvo, when did he become a vendor? That's the thing, because see, here's what's so strange about this is he's he's not a vendor. He's not a vendor. When you say vendor, to me, that's Thomas Business Supply, the people that bring the ink, the toner for the copy machines. A vendor would be the person who provides the PBT straws for the police department. A vendor is going to be the ammunition company that provides, or the gun shop locally that provides ammunition to the police department, or the Eli Lilly providing medicine to the fire department. Those are vendors. Dustin Clark, and at least the way that Dustin and the mayor has portrayed this relationship, that is, he's not a vendor. They're calling him a contract employee. Yeah, the city attorneys the city attorneys for the city are vendors. That's the mechanism for paying for the service. Dustin Clark, at least by word of mouth, through he and the mayor's word of mouth, is considered, quote unquote, a contract employee. Now, for any normal person that looks at this contract, it certainly doesn't look like he's a contract employee. It looks very questionable, but that's what they're calling it. Again, that's what we had issue with. Remember when I said it did not appear as though any legal authority had looked over this? It didn't look as like the mayor's city attorney had looked over the contract before or after it was signed. It didn't look like an attorney for Dustin had looked over the contract either before or after it was signed. So it looks very haphazardly put together. And from what I believe, the 13 papers that make up the quote unquote professional services contract, that is like a template, and they just plugged Dustin's crap into that. Well, remember though, folks, we keep saying Dustin's. It's not Dustin's. It's Michelle Owens. Michelle Owens is Hoosier Municipal Operations, LLC. Dustin Clark is not listed anywhere on there as that company. So when he is stating here on this Public Works Professional Services contract on the quote-unquote 30th day of October 2024, which is a sham backdated date, when he's saying that the City of Muncie and Dustin Clark, DBA, which is doing business as Hoosier Municipal Operations, that is not really truthful. And I don't know how they're going to get around this. As Chief Muncie's saying, Chief Muncie's brought up a couple really, really, really good points. Go back in here. Who's going to be receiving the 1099? Hoosier Municipal Services or Dustin Clark? Remember back last week when I was talking about my concern with this being that Dustin was either using this or going to use this, has attempted to use this, or has attempted to use other things like it in the past to dodge the tax man. And that's, I don't know. Time will tell on this. Time will tell. Michelle's pimping Dustin to Dan. I only hope that whatever's happening here is legitimate, because I honestly don't think that Michelle is a bad person. But I sure as hell hope that everything's on the up and up, because if not, they're putting her in a really, really sticky wicket here. And what really is concerning is, what does this have to do with her job? Is her job okay with this? Is that an issue? Because I want to say from the start of this, when I saw that Michelle had filed the paperwork and been the registered agent, I congratulated Michelle publicly on Facebook, where people could see it. People in her orbit, people in the political orbit, people around Muncie. And you know what she did? She quickly took that down. She did not want that to stay up. So when I then posted another thing saying it again, she took that down. Come tax time, where will the 1099 show up from? Well, it should show up from the city of Muncie. I guess the question more is, who does it show up to? Who gets it? Does Michelle get it? Does Dustin get it? That's the thing. That's the thing, Chief Muncie. See, and I it's really hard, because you kind of get into the weeds and people get so confused on all of this. Forget comparing Dennis or Democrats to Dan and Republicans. Let's look at employee to employee, department head to department head. There, at one point in time, was a department head in the city of Muncie. Doesn't matter who he worked for or what the deal was, but there was a department head who essentially was doing some very hinky things, where he was a named, appointed, full-time supervising department head. He was a mayoral appointment, and he was also acting as a contract employee, making up like fake invoices for tearing down buildings that never existed, and doing some other things that were absolutely questionable and against the law. Well, turns out everybody wanted to absolutely crucify the mayor for the actions of his department head. Now, listen, I say that shit rolls uphill. So, yeah, I can understand that. That's fine. However, if it was good in that situation, it has to be good in this situation. And that's what I've said all along, is this. I don't care about Dan versus Dennis versus Dan, Republicans versus Democrats. I care about looking at what Craig Nichols did versus looking at what these department heads are doing currently. And I'm telling you, I don't care what the State Board of Accounts says or they don't say, because they're extremely busy and it's hard to get them to look exactly at the right point, the right time. It feels like the State Board of Accounts really only picks on the things that they find in their time. It's almost like they don't like taking information from the public. That's just my feeling I get. But it really is odd. I don't care what they say. What's going on with Dustin Clark and what has been going on with Dustin Clark gives me the suspicious feelings, the exact same that Craig Nichols did. Identical. Not saying the same thing is happening. I'm just saying one makes me feel kind of, ooh, I don't know, I don't like this. And the other makes me feel like, ooh, I don't know, I don't like this. Something seems off with both. The problem is, yeah, right. Chief Muncie says this administration does not care what the State Board of Accounts says anyways. And that's frustrating. It's frustrating as hell. Alva says, I've received many and issued many 1099s over the 32 years of being in business. I know how they work. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Let me ask you. Yeah, right. That's the other thing, Kate, is, they don't have, there's no teeth there. That's the problem with all of these boards and agencies at the state level, like Luke Britt, the public access counselor, State Board of Accounts, and all this. They can come in and say these big words and put these big things on it and say, oh, we've got Indiana code, da-da-da-da-da, smack, 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 smack. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot of anything. So, that's the problem. That's the issue. So, okay, Alva, with your experience in the world of 1099s, and I know you've never been like in government, but let's just look at it for the sake of argument. If you entered into an agreement for someone to do work for you, and you entered into it with Dustin Clark doing business as, whatever your state is down there, Louisiana Municipal Operations, and then you had a contract that says his name and Louisiana Municipal Operations, and he turns in an invoice, but all of the paperwork to that business is in someone totally else's name. What is your opinion of what's going on there, of what you would do there? The other thing that makes this a little weird is the fact that it seems as if Dan will bend over backwards to at whatever whim, at any whatever the pleasure of Dustin might be. Dan is willing to bend over backwards. What's your pleasure there, Dustin? And Dan's like, whoa, My problem is when that happens, if Dustin was just dating any, some Jane Doe and she had signed the paperwork, that's one thing. But Dan also knows Michelle Owens. There's an S at the end. I always forget that. So it's almost like he's like, well, I'm willing to do whatever for you, Dustin, and I know Michelle, wink, wink, so it's all good. to me, that makes it that much more of an issue. Chief says, let's look at how the 1099s are issued. They're issued from the computer based on who the entity issued checks to for service. 1099 will be issued to whomever the check is issued to. So that's the thing. That's the thing. The city better be real careful here. They should not be accepting invoices from Dustin Clark. They need to be receiving invoices from the company they are doing business with. Man. I would have to write the check to whatever entity is on file with licensing and insurance. Yeah, absolutely. The company should have filed a W-9 with the city, and the company should, the company, I keep saying that. The contract is instantly void. All business must cease. No legal connection. Listen, I believe that. I've been saying that since I first got the contract on the 18th. I've been saying this. And I don't know. And the thing is, here we come back to the problem. Dustin is nowhere on the paperwork, on the paperwork at the state. Indiana business registration. He's not on it. Now, the only possible thing that ties back to Dustin Clark on the Indiana State Registry is the address, is her home address. That home address comes back to both Dustin and Michelle. That's the only thing. Where are the attorneys? Right. Michelle Owen is listed as the only member of the organization. Yes. Absolutely. That's it. That's that. And you know, that I cannot wait until I get these invoices, and it's going to be interesting to see, because these invoices should be, I requested these invoices last night. They should have received these invoices this morning. There's literally no reason why they couldn't have sent me these invoices this afternoon. The company can hire employees, but they have to have an EIN. Otherwise, the individual on the state paperwork is liable and files income on their personal taxes. 100%. Yeah, this is really strange. So, now, based off of all of this, I want to tell you guys a couple things, because we're getting ready to wrap up and go to the Delaware County side of these things. But I just wanted to kind of keep you up to date with what's going on here, and just again advise you of how crazy it is that the Board of Works was not live streamed today for whatever reason. So let me see here. Okay, nothing Nothing. Okay. Well, so here's what's happened. Since all of this came out, since I found all of this, like I've said, I filed a record request for all of the invoice information, for all of the information pertaining to the invoice, all detailed invoices, copies of the checks, and copies of anything else pertaining to this vendor. All right. I have also, in connection with this, issued record request for all of Mayor Ridenour and Dustin Clark's emails back and forth concerning, any emails in the last, I went from August 1st through yesterday's date. And so, any emails, I then got a little specific and said emails pertaining to quitting his PCR, emails pertaining to grant writing assistant, emails pertaining to contract employee, any emails pertaining to the contract, any emails pertaining to payment. I had a couple of different subcategories listed, so everything could be hit upon. So we'll see how long it takes for them to provide that for me. And then what else? I think that's it. I think that's it as far as that goes. Carrie. Oh yeah. Listen, you've got people go on and on and on about Madison County. Man, the FBI was here in Muncie for an 8-year period. There were arrests and indictments made. Muncie and Anderson just volley back and forth between who's the worst at the moment and what weirdness is going on. Absolutely. It's just completely disgusting. It's just absolutely nuts. Let me see what Kate says here. Yeah, yes. I agree with that, Kate. I absolutely agree with that. So the other thing is, can you obtain a total of money spent from Edit by Dan for 2024? Oh, absolutely. Sure. Absolutely, I can. Oh, yeah. Sure, absolutely. Stumblefoot. They'll fight me on that about as long as they possibly can. I also sent, just before we go on to the county, Amber and I took some stabs at each other. Yeah, what's the connection to Dan? That's a really good question. I'm telling you, listen, somebody out there, let me get real close to you all. Somebody out there knows what the deal is between Dan and Dustin Clark, between Ridenour and Clark, Dan and Dustin and Dan, Clark and Ridenour. Somebody knows what the hell is going on. Are they brothers? Are they, younger brother, older brother? Is it father and son? Is it Lots of people are saying, could it be a romantic involvement? Some people are saying, is there some kind of business partnership under the table in some way? Partners in crime? Yeah, I'm telling you, something has to be happening here for Dan to be willing to make all of these just absolutely blind, dumb, ignorant decisions. Listen. You might not like it. I don't like it. I didn't like it. And you might not like it. People have a right to not like this. Dennis Tyler did not shit can Craig Nichols straight away because he had known that boy, because that Craig Nichols was a man when all this happened. But Dennis had known him since he had been a boy. He'd watched him grow up. He was like an uncle to him. They had a familial type of a relationship. Right, wrong, or indifferent, Dennis and Craig's dad were like brothers. They were firefighters together. And man, I'm telling you, unless you've been in the military, unless you've been police officers, unless you've been paramedics or firefighters, you don't understand that bond, that because most people, you just go to work with a bunch of idiots and they're just a bunch of idiots. But there's a bond that does happen in the military and police and fire, everybody looks at Dennis and Phil as there are these corrupt politicians. But before all of that, they were firefighters for years and years and years and years and years and years. And they were young boys together. They grew up together. So Dennis did wrong because, right, wrong, or indifferent, there was a familial type of relationship there. Okay. And it doesn't make it right. It's just that's, if someone wants to know, that's the deal. That's why. It would be like firing your son or your nephew that you were damn close to, Okay. So still not right. Still doesn't make it right, but at least it makes, there's somewhere where it makes sense. What in the hell? Dennis fired other people and didn't have a problem. Okay. Dan's let other people go. Dan's let other people go and there's not been a problem. So what is the deal with Dustin? Or is he his illegitimate son? I'm telling you, somebody out there knows. And if you have information on Dustin Clark, get with me. Get in connection with me. I'll keep you quiet. I will not dime you out. Get in contact with me. We have to put this puzzle together. Okay. Really quickly, I also sent an email to the mayor and to the communications director, blasting how the city handled the deal with George Foley. I had been asking for a press release, some kind of statement, nothing. They had never see ya, Kate. They had never put out anything. They never put out a statement. They never said anything. They never even really responded to my email in any way that mattered. However, they did send out apparently a response to the Star Press. So I sent an email that was pretty fired up back to them. And I said, it's pretty unbelievable that I have been sending you guys correspondence for days now. Let me get this straight. You don't respond to me, but you do give a response to the Star Press? Like, I cannot comprehend it. And I'm like, I said, I understand that it makes you upset, Dan, that there are people in your inner circle that give me information. I know that makes you upset. But when I come to you with questions, you need to respond. You ran on doing just that. You did not respond to the email. Your communications director did not respond to my email. Your secretary did not respond to my email. But then I see where your administration responded to the Star Press on Monday, December 23rd. And it's complete bullshit that we have to talk about this. Dan, you know there's nothing wrong in confirming, yes, a city employee was placed on administrative leave on Wednesday, December 18th, and or the city terminated the employment of that city employee. No further statements will be made until the investigation is completed. That would have been living up to your campaign promises. Dan, your communication has been worse this year in 2024 than any other year that you have been in office. But the new year is almost here. Please, let's go into 2025 with a clean slate. You really need to try harder to communicate better. Please try to live up to your campaign promises of improving communication, improving transparency, and improving accountability. And that's what I sent. Well, let me tell you about the email that I got in response. The email that I got in response was from the communications director, which says, "Good morning, Christopher Bilbrey. I have attached your email for clarification. From what I can see, you did not ask for confirmation regarding the employee status. You asked why a press release had not been issued. With all due respect, it is not within my scope or responsibility to explain why or why not a press release is issued. Furthermore, to clarify, the Star Press received a statement. It is because they asked specifically for confirmation as to the legitimacy of the unconfirmed reports. I am happy to reply directly to questions. I will not, however, provide explanations as to how I choose to execute my duties. Thank you and have a wonderful day." And here's where the issue is, and this is where Amber's quickness of needing to come back and get quippy comes into a problem. Sometimes when I email these people, I'll email multiple people at the same time so they're all aware. But at the end of the day, Amber's not the elected official. The secretary is not the elected official. The Muncie mayor is the elected official, and he is the one that has to live or die, figuratively speaking, by the praise or the heat that he gets for answering questions or not answering questions or whatever. Okay. So I responded back to this by saying, Mayor Ridenour, Communications Director, Amber Green. While I understand the sentiment of the email, I do not want it to be lost on either of you that the mayor, either you or the mayor, that there is certainly a difference between you as the communications director for the city of Muncie and Dan as the mayor of Muncie, which is an elected public servant. At the end of the day, the elected mayor is responsible for his communications and or lack of communications in a way that is different from you doing a job. While there are times that I may ask you, the communications director, a specific question or questions by email, phone call, or other means that I only send to you, you have to understand there are also other times that I will send emails or communicate directly with the mayor. And then again, there are times that I will send emails to both of you. At the end of the day, it is Dan who ran on a campaign of promise of more and improved communication, which was a major reason why voters of Muncie cast votes for him in both 2019 and 2023. He promised improved communication, improved transparency, and improved accountability, which he has not lived up to. It is Dan and no one else that will get the praise or take the heat for how he chooses to act or not act, or what he allows or does not allow. More to the point, the way in which he communicates or does not communicate is what will make or break his time in office. The buck stops with the elected official, not the communications department. While you may not feel it necessary to explain yourself, I can assure you it is absolutely necessary for Dan to explain himself or not, and then deal with the consequences of his decision. And of course, throughout all of this, the mayor has not responded. The mayor's not responded to personal email. The mayor's not responded to personal phone, text, or phone calls. The mayor, the mayor who, even through bad times, was someone who I could communicate with periodically at various points in text or phone calls. I have not had a direct conversation with the mayor, not counting when he was throwing me out of the meeting up north. I have not had a direct conversation with the mayor since probably January or February of 2023. And I think that is absolutely reprehensible. I think that's completely out of line. Yeah, I don't understand. That's the other thing. The reasons for termination are discoverable under ARP. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, wait. So so Chief of Muncie. So yeah, the investigation is not complete yet. Correct. It is still ongoing. For those that are not aware, Foley was placed on administrative leave on Wednesday the 18th at about 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. On the 18th, it was about 9 o'clock in the morning. He's put on administrative leave. And then 2 days later, on Friday the 20th, at about 10:30, a phone call was made to him by Mayor Ridenour with what's really strange is Ridenour was in the room and Richard Ivey was in the room. Now, I find that really odd because Richard Ivey is no longer the deputy mayor. He's no longer an employee for the city of Muncie. He's an employee for the sanitary district. But they still had him in the room when Ridenour was terminating a city employee. So I find that to be odd. I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me if that's a problem or not. I don't know. I think it's odd. Yeah, Chief Muncie. That's very strange. Absolutely. Oh, and for anyone that's putting up comments, for anybody that is like, "Hey, why are the comments not getting put up?" Kate bowed out, so I'm on my own now. So I'm doing everything. So the comments will probably just be on the comment side. You can all see them. I can see them, but I probably won't mess with putting them up just because it's too complicated. So that's very strange. Chief Muncie, what's your thoughts on Ivy being part of sitting in on the firing of Foley, even though he's no longer a city employee anymore? What's your thoughts on that? Okay. Lastly, while I'm waiting on those, I do want to go on here just briefly for the I want to go on here to the end. I just want to bring this up. We've talked about this a little bit. There's not a whole lot to discuss about this other than to say, I want to say this again. The Delaware County Commissioners apparently, and I say it like that, apparently are having a special meeting coming this Monday, December 30th, 2024. Now, in order for them to have that special meeting, they would have needed to make it a public notice 48 hours before. So anytime before 9 a.m. on Thursday. So anytime before, wait a minute, today, anytime before yesterday, they would have needed to publicize that. The reason I say maybe, apparently, is I'm not being able to find anything about this public meeting. Let me look here really quickly. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure. Maybe I'm off. I just need to look here really quickly. Wait. On December 16th, okay, so that's not that. So, yeah, I'm not showing anything that shows that they have publicly posted. I don't know if there's anybody that's watching this that has word of a public posting. If you do, please let me know. Get it to me. You can message it to me by way of text, or you can send it to me in Facebook Messenger. But I have not seen any posting. I will go up to the around the county building tomorrow and look. The county building is closed tomorrow. It's Saturday, but I will drive up there and take a look and see if it's posted on the doors. It should be posted someplace, but I haven't seen it on their website. I also haven't heard them say anything about it. I haven't found anything about it on their social media. I haven't found anything about it on their website. And normally they post something, or they post the agenda. They have not posted that. I want you guys just briefly to hear again what this meeting is about. It's very, 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 very important that you understand what's going on. And I'm going to let you guys hear this. I know we've heard this, but I'm going to let you guys hear this one more time right before we end here. Listen to this.
Okay, ordinance number 2024-32, an ordinance transferring interest earned on the American Rescue Plan funds.
This is an ordinance concerning the interest on the, has been earned on the ARP money while it's been on deposit. I would ask the commissioners to introduce this only. We're gonna have to make some revisions because one of those things that Treasury has changed in the last 3-4 weeks is how this interest can be used. So we're gonna have to make some big revisions to this particular this particular ordinance to create a separate fund. And it's not gonna go into revenue recovery. It's gonna go into a separate fund according to the latest from Treasury. So we'll need to do this before the end of the year. So you can introduce it. We'll make some revisions to it, but it's not in the final form as of yet.
So moved.
Matt Cant, Delaware County Council. I just want to stipulate that our 2025 budget that was approved included, I'm not sure what the dollar amounts currently are in the ARP interest money. The approved amount that we submitted included this interest money for 2025. We spent, 50-something hours this year on increasing salaries. That was really what the leveling salaries, increasing salaries. And I think even in some cases, we didn't get to a lot of the employees that were leveled or see any dramatic increases. So I just want it to be known that this money has already been accounted for next year. And if you do take it away, then we're going to be up against what appears to be a revenue shortfall for 2025 as it stands today.
I made it clear in the budget meeting that we was gonna use this. I told you that,
Sure.
right?
But the ARP money,
I did. I told, did I not say that we was gonna use the interest in ARP in the
we
budget?
did,
meeting?
but
I did.
whose pocket are you taking it
Okay.
out of?
Make it clear.
Okay. But the only one's going to be suffering for that potentially are employees.
That's you guys. I told you guys we was gonna use it.
Right.
And I don't know why you're
But-
budgeting non-anticipated money anyway in a
The
budget.
money is not non-anticipated, it's already in there.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be next year, maybe the next. What are you gonna do
Okay.
then?
Just making it clear.
Well, I'm making it clear that
Okay.
I said it in the budget meeting. You guys heard it.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Man, I am so shocked about this. Okay, just briefly, so make sure everyone is aware of what's happening. The federal government sent federal money out to all these cities, towns, counties, states called the American Rescue Plan Fund. Had to do with COVID. And most communities put together these committees made up of various different elected officials and community members and business people and attorneys to decide what went on with that money. One thing I can applaud the city of Muncie for was the way that they handled the majority of that. There was some screwball stuff happening, but I was okay with the committee that at least they put together. In Delaware County, listen to this, Chief Muncie, what they've done here. The ARP money was only decided by two individuals, James King and Shannon Henry. And they put a large chunk of money, of ARP money, in the bank so it would make interest. Well, the standing rule in government is if money makes interest like that, the interest goes to the general fund. And the general fund is and should be under control of the county council, not the commissioners. So they were told how much money they have here. And they told how much money that they would have from this interest in 2025. So during the budget process, the county council, knowing and believing and thinking that this money was coming to the general fund like it should, like it always has in other cases, they knew that this was money that they had. They knew this was good as money in your hand. And they went ahead and they budgeted with it. And they told the commissioners what they were going to do. The commissioners didn't like that. The commissioners wanted that interest money because James King and Shannon Henry do not like giving up even pennies. So they said, no, we are going to take it back and we are going to use it. And the council bucked up and said, no, we are budgeting things with it. We're going to be using it. Nothing else was said about it. And then right here near the end of the year, the commissioners put forward some kind of ordinance because they're going to change it. And they are going to take and put that interest money in a different fund that is only under the control of the commissioners. So the council, the president and the vice president of the council went to the most recent commissioners meeting and said, hey, what you're doing with this money, you shouldn't be doing. That's money that we've already budgeted. We've told you this. It's money that's coming into the general fund. It's interest money. It's not ARP money. You know, I don't believe they should have the ARP money, but it is what it is. No one fought back against that other than Ryan Webb. And, you know, like everybody says, thank God he's gone, right? Okay, because he mean tweets and mean text, but didn't to hell with questions and fighting back against the commissioners when they're idiots. So Ryan said, no, I don't think they should have control of the ARP money. Nobody else fought back on that. Now they want the interest money too, and now the council is going to be left with having to fight this battle. They're going to have one more special meeting apparently Monday. I'm going to check on Saturday to see if it's posted. If it is, obviously we'll have it. We won't complain about it. Hopefully it's posted because we need to have this. We need to get this resolved. We will be live streaming that meeting right here at 9 a.m. on Monday for people to watch. Okay. Who is the fiscal body of the county? Wouldn't they have to vote on that ordinance? The fiscal body of the county is the council. However, okay, what the bullshit is here, the commissioners are in control of the ARP money. And so it's their belief that because they're in control of the ARP money, that they are also in control of the interest made on the ARP money. So it is a fight, not for the ARP money even, which it should be that, but it's not. It's a fight just for the interest. And apparently there's going to be a big showdown on Monday about this. So I'm going to be there. We're going to be live streaming it. You'll be able to see it right here. And then we'll talk about it Monday evening, right back here at 9 p.m. Eastern. So this is a special episode. Normally we're off on Fridays, but because of the holidays, we're here. We will not be here tomorrow. We will be back Sunday before everything kicks off into the week. We will be back Sunday. We will then be live at 9 a.m. Monday. Then 12 hours later at 9 p.m. Monday evening, we will talk about that crazy ass meeting. And then we'll be here on Tuesday as well. The interest is income. That falls under the count. Absolutely, Chief Muncie. Absolutely. And you know, this comes down to, I'll tell you what this comes down to. This comes down to James King, Shannon Henry, and John Brook. Now, King has only attended 2 of the last 6 or 7 meetings because he's a lame duck. He's a lame duck idiot. So he's out of Dodge. So bottom line, this is going to fall on Shannon Henry to fight the council And I don't know if he's going to be able to do it or not. I think it's going to be interesting. And I'm really interested in if they would, I hope that Stephen Brand gets up and speaks. He isn't a commissioner. He's a commissioner elect. So maybe they should take a little bit of what he has to say, a little bit of thought on this, because it's going to be exactly 24. It's going to be 40 some hours before he is the commissioner. So hopefully they would maybe take a little bit of his thought into consideration, but the council will be there, and anybody that wants to speak out against this will will have the chance to speak. I think Shannon Henry is completely out of line. I think Shannon was out of line there in the meeting. I mean, he didn't get rude or anything, but it's just when Matt's saying like, well, you're going to be taking this from your own employees, from the employees of the county, and Shannon's like, nope, that's you guys. You guys did that. Chief Muncie, I'm pretty sure that Brand believes that money needs to go to the council. I cannot say that 1,000%. Yeah, no, I do. I don't think he wasn't like yelling. He wasn't like James King, because James King would just be completely out of line. Yes, it was very rude. It was absolutely rude. It just wasn't a James King style answer. It was rude. That's exactly right. That is right there. Bing, bang, pow. You said it right there. Because that's what I believe. Now here's the deal. Brand is going to be in a really tricky spot, because he's only going to be 1 to 2 votes. And I'm hearing that Sherry is going to be saddling up next to Shannon for things. And I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. But I guess time will tell. Yes, Chief Muncie. That is exactly. The only difference is King would have said it just like that, and Shannon said it the way he did. That's the only difference. I hope that's true. I hope that's true. I just know this. I know that there are pretty solid rumors that Sherry has told Brand, like, come in and just listen. Don't make a bunch of waves. Don't come in trying to change things. Don't come in trying to do things. You just need to come in and listen, and don't make a bunch of waves. And while I get people telling new elected official people that, it's not like he's just fresh off the boat. He's been deeply involved with everything going on in county government for over 2 years now. He's as well versed on what's happening there as definitely as James King. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Chief Muncie. Oh, God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Sorry for the weird time and the weird here and then not here and then here and then not here. I appreciate you for tuning in. Please share the show with everyone you know. That is true. That is absolutely true. It's going to be interesting. Next year is going to be interesting to watch what happens. The commissioners' meetings, while the council meetings are going to start to plummet, the commissioners' meetings are going to get more entertaining to watch, to see what goes on. I think it's going to be really, really crazy. All right. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. It's just starting. Tonight's Friday. Have a good rest of your Friday night. Have a good Saturday, good Sunday. We will not be here tomorrow. We will be back, though, on time Sunday night, as always, as normal time Sunday night. So definitely tune in. On your way out the door, hit the like, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell so you get notified when we go live. And just again, real quick, not here tomorrow, here Sunday, then county council meeting or county commissioners meeting 9 a.m. Monday, live Monday night. We'll be here New Year's Eve. We're off New Year's Day. I think we're back Thursday, then off Friday, Saturday, and then back to regular schedule on the 5th. So we'll see you guys Sunday. Be here. Help spread the word. You know where to follow us at right there. Take care of yourselves. God bless each and every one of you. And thank you all for tuning in. Good night.